It's a really great pleasure for me today to have a conversation with my dear old friend Lachhe Bahadur, whom I've known for 20 years now. He's going to be telling his story in a little while. I'm going to put him on screen next to me now so that you can see Lachhe there. Lachhe is at the Suryodaya Boarding School in Kathmandu in Nepal. It's a for English people anyway, Kathmandu is a very romantic and exotic location in the world. And I'm hoping that Lachhe is going to be able to tell me a little bit about that as part of his story as we go through it. So what's going to happen now is that I am going to load up a short presentation that tells you a little bit about my friendship with Lachhe over the years, with a few slides of a little video and some pictures from the wonderful time that I spent at his school and as his guest. It's 6 years ago now in February 2015. So I'll go straight into sharing my screen on that. Okay, so this is a little short video that I'm going to play. It only takes about 3 minutes, but I will start playing it now. And it may be, Lachhe, that you have some students in the room with you who may have been in this original video. So children, please watch out for yourself. You might see yourself on screen. I don't know, have you any sound, Lachhe? Can you hear any sound from the video? So you have some wonderful children, and maybe that some of the children in the room with you now were there 6 years ago, because we will be seeing some very young children in a little excellent use of English language and their talent.
Good morning everyone, it's Ms. Asana Saputa from grade 9 as the assembly conductor for today.
You'll see
and we have
girl singing a song which is recorded by an English artist.
What a wonderful assembly, what a nice mantra that you
chanted,
and what a lovely friends and very good friends of mine. We were associated long time, 2001, in a different conference of the Global Society Dialogue in the Europe. And David Wortley and Jackie with us. Welcome them by giving
wonderful
big clap,
and a wonderful experience.
Originally he's a British.
You are a great credit
from United Kingdom, both of them.
And also to your country. So this is Adele, look-alike, singing Rolling in the Deep. If you can hear the audio.
I like to play with the ball.
Here are your little ones.
1, 2, 3.
They're singing a song in English. Driving a motor car. That little bouncing girl.
I like to play with the bouncing ball. Bouncing ball. Bouncing ball. I like to play with the ball.
experience.
Bouncing, bouncing ball.
Okay, so that was the video. I'm now going to show just a few photographs from my trip in 2015. You can see me standing at the lectern to do my presentation, and a nice picture of yourself. And then next to that, the wonderful honor to be able to meet your president and have a cup of tea with him. It's the first and only time that I've ever had the opportunity to meet such a senior person in a country. And here again at the conference, we have duplicated pictures on either side, but you can see I'm sat on the front row there. And I think it should be coming up on your screen in a moment. And I am sat next to my partner, Jackie, who's in the house at the moment. And there you are, giving a little talk. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And Lachhe, if you could unmute your microphone, I could like to just ask you a few questions.
Okay, David.
Okay, wonderful. So, Lachhe, we've known each other by my calculations for 20 years now. And I still remember the trip that we had for the Global Society Dialogue in Reisenburg Castle 20 years ago in Germany with Professor Rademacher and some of my still friends. There is Milan Konechny, whom I've seen from time to time. It's a wonderful experience to meet you, and I'm so glad that we were able to continue our friendship over the years. So, Lachhe, when we met in 2001, were you principal of your school at that time?
Yeah.
You were principal of your school in that time. And how long have you...
Since 1990, I became a principal. And before that, I was a university student. Once I finished my university classes, so I take the responsibility. I took the responsibility of the principal since 1990.
Since 1990. And I have to say that you still look the same now as you did 20 years ago. And I wish I could say this. I wish I could say the same about myself. So, Lachhe, what was it when you were young? What was it that inspired you to be a teacher and go into education?
Thank you for the very interesting question. It reminds me back when I was a student of grade 9. At that time, I play a drama, role of teacher. I imitated the role of teacher, one of the popular teacher of the school. And from that time, I want to be a teacher. And this is an influence from my school time that I would like to be a teacher because I can share my feeling with my students, with my friends. And I felt during my once I finished my education, 11, 12, that is called Intermediate of Science, and I joined as a teacher in a girls' school, high school. At that particular time, I was very popular. I was taking mathematics and science. I was very popular. Students likes my teaching, learning, and my way of dealing. And from that time, the parents, local parents, they empower me. They influence me that please establish one school so that I will send our kids with you under your guidance because you are dynamic, you are very motivated. So they suggested me and I opened with my 65 students and 3 teachers, my co-workers and 1 helping staff. And from that time, I'm continually involving in education and motivated to be a teacher and principal. Thank you.
So you actually set up the Suryodaya school, did you? You started it. You did.
Yes.
In 1990.
Yeah, No, 1990 I became principal.
Okay.
1986, 87, I already established a school with my
You established a school, and you are, or at least you were when I met you the last time. You were president of PABSON, which is the private and boarding schools organisation of Nepal. Were you involved in setting up PABSON, or how did that come about?
Actually, once I established a school, there were co-workers nearby, or some of those people who are working under the private school. So they want to unite it to be together, and I acquainted that to be together with my fellow principals and requesting to the government and safeguard for our school. We dialogue with the Ministry of Education, so we became together, and slowly I involved a leadership position like a secretary, central committee member, and slowly senior vice president, advisor role, and ultimately general secretary, as well as I took the position of the national president of PABS Private and Boarding School Organization, Nepal. So it's my great opportunity and to honor to share my feeling with my friends and taking leadership throughout the country about the private school.
Yes, and you're still president, are you,
Yes,
of PABSON? You are. Okay. Well, I can't think of a
problem.
I can't think of a better person to be in charge of PABSON. You are such an inspiring individual, and one of the things that I've noticed about you, which I notice about many extraordinary people, apart from your tremendous enthusiasm and your talent and your intellectual ability, you have a wonderful sense of humor. I think this is absolutely fantastic. You do like to see other people enjoy themselves, and you know how to enjoy yourself. So it's a very great credit to you, and a great pleasure. So Lachhe, at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just I'm going to load up your slide presentation, and I'm going to ask you to talk through your slides. So first of all, I'm going to make you the speaker. Okay, and I'm going to share your presentation.
Okay.
Just bear with me. Okay, your slides should be on the screen now, Lachhe.
Yeah.
So if you would like to tell me when to advance to the next slide. So I've started the presentation, and there you are on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving to your first slide.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. This is me, Lachhe Bahadur Kesi, all the way from Kathmandu, Nepal. And I born in 5 July 1961. This is 59 years now. I'm a very young people, 59 years young
You
people.
are.
Very dynamic, very energetic still. And this is already 35 years that school has established. And presently working as associate professor of physics, Tribhuvan University, Nepal. And I'm presently holding the chairman of Suryodaya Education Foundation, under which the Suryodaya boarding school is running. And for that, I'm the principal. And please, next slide. And I have already experienced about 3 years chairman of the private and boarding school organization that is called PABSON in short. I was president 2013 to 2016 in that organization. Presently, now I am a senior advisor. Before that, I was the chief advisor according to our laws of Nepal. And then still I am the senior advisor of the PABSON. I'm advising the private school role and its talk to the government school. And I also hold as a president of the Rotary Club of Delhi Bazaar. That's one of the service club in the world that is popular. 2009 to 2010, I was the president, and I became the lucky to receive the National Award on Education 2018. And please, next slide. As I told you, this is the few photographs with the Professor Rademacher and David Wortley, and also invited our international presenter, a keynote speaker as a presenter, Mr. David Wortley and Professor Rademacher, and with her friends also, Dr. Estrelle and other member also, PABSON member also there. So they were with the program with the first President of Nepal, Dr. Ram Baran Yadav is the president at that time, and we were invited there after the education conference organized by the PABSON under my leadership. And there are one photo with my colleagues that was during my president time. And this is an organization of the whole, yes. You allow me, please, introduce my school. Actually, this school was established in 1986, 2042, according to Nepali Bikram Sambat. And we have already produced 28 batches of school graduates. Almost 2,500 students already graduated from this school. The school has the 400 students because of the coronavirus, COVID-19. We lost 200 students already, and after the devastating earthquake, we could able to construct the 35 rooms new building and the new classroom in this school. Thank you. Next slide, please. We have now computer lab, library, science lab, and some other facilities which needed for students. The school we have a playground, kindergarten class to grade 12 now, and we have a basketball court, and we can use for multi-purpose for there. Suryodaya provides the unique and satisfactory teaching, learning experience for the students. The school has committed to providing the students with a world-class education at an affordable prices with a native touch. Thank you. Next slide, please. The vision of our school is far-sighted vision, created well-educated, well-rounded, well-mannered, and environmental aware, peaceful global citizen. They will be able to make a better Nepal and better world. Thank you. Next slide, please. The objectives: to cultivate our students to be wise, compassionate, and cultured and active global citizen of the world. Developing potential of each our student, paramount importance of our institution. Empowerment of students through the education. We facilitate the process of Nepal getting peace for a prosperous, self-reliant, peaceful, ethical, and environmentally friendly country. Next slide, please. We have a holistic approach of teaching, learning process, high school studies in the hotel management, HM, business studies, and computer science. Extra co-curricular classes like a dance, music, Chinese language, French language, and they speaking all the scouts and even martial art classes, basketball, taekwondo, cricket, football, a congenial environment that we have been provided. Next slide, please. So we not only in our school, not only rich people, but those who are not affordable, they have no, even the helpless students, even the needy children are able to study here because we have a system to provide a scholarship program, full scholarship, partial scholarship, and those who are deserving children, they can get the full scholarship and partial scholarship for their studies in our school. Even for the food and accommodation had provided or is system to provide there. Thank you. Next slides. Next slides, please. But in the meantime, when the school was running in 2015, after our David arrival, you were here in our school in 2015. This was the February, but in March 2015, we have a devastating earthquake on the same year. So actually we have lost everything. All the building was cracked and we need to demolish it, and it was not able to take the class there. And 1 month was difficult time for us in the history of our school time. So there was lack of water facility, electricity was cut down, playground was also full of all the books and our computer parts and almost under the sky. So it was not able to conduct the class. So in a month time, we could able to manage the tent, the plastic tent, and after that we could able to run the school. That means we had a very, very difficult time in the history. So we could able to make some classes with the help of our friends and parents and my friends. So we could manage some 30, almost 26 rooms. So we could able to run school again. So we could able to stand again, and we are committed to provide the quality education, holistic approach of education, and we have a value-based education that we have been providing our children. So we have a great encourage power to go further, because I have a great friend all around the world, like a friend like David Watley, who is encouraging us, the friend like Professor Rademacher, always giving the support physically, mentally. He was able to visit 3 times already in Nepal and give me a great power and leadership ideas and all. So because of that, we could able to run. We have a team of 40 members, 40 teachers are there, and around 400 students are there. So we could able to run. So still we are suffering from the financial difficulties, lack of some rooms, still lack of rooms, lack of our conference hall, teacher seminar hall, and the lab for the language. So many things still is needed, but we could able to run quality education and conduct it well. So next slide, please. So all over the world was affected by COVID pandemic 2020, and Nepal also badly affected. It was almost a year now. So our school was completely locked down for 9 months, and the school operated online classes from the beginning regularly, because we want to contact our students and parents, because they should not forget their studies, their duties, and because they have to, one of the senior students has to attain the national level examination. So for that, we are able to connect the online classes. So our teacher team was very much thankful, and parents are also supportive, and students are very active. Because of that, we could able to run online classes. Now we are able to conduct the 2 weeks ago that physical classes also already started, but we have lost 200 students. 200 students, we are not able to connect them where they are, where they have lost, because of maybe economical background difficulties, or their parents has lost their job or their day-to-day work. So they could not stay in Kathmandu city. So they might have left the city and they went to the village, the remote area. So we have been losing 200 students because of this COVID-19. So now we are waiting for COVID vaccination next week. So after the COVID vaccination, our teachers will be more powerful, energetic, and even myself, I'm going to get the vaccine. From that time, maybe school will be more, our children, our parents will be more confident to conduct the school classes. Next slide, please. So our future plan is to grow higher studies facilities for the students, like a computer science, hotel management, culinary academy, so tourism, IT business studies, especially for the vocational education that we'd like to provide our students. So science faculties like physics, chemistry, and biology, even law section would like to continue. So the school is willing to operate the vocational and skill-oriented classes for underprivileged and deserving children. Thank you. Next slide, please. So we would like to provide the scholarship, full scholarship for the needy students and support them to higher studies, develop the infrastructure facility for the student school, which is includes the better classrooms, computer lab, lab for the hotel management, class, science lab, library, and cafeteria, good cafeteria. Development of the other infrastructure that includes the teachers' seminar hall, like I said before, auditorium hall, and students' annual functions hall. Providing the international standard education to the community, youth, and the children. This is our future plan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Lachhe. We'll go back to our screen. That's a wonderfully inspiring story, Lachhe. And when this interview is over, the recording will be published. And it will be promoted by the internet and social media. So for those people who are watching this video live or they're watching the recording, then Suryodaya Secondary School has some really severe needs that we in the UK have not experienced the kind of tragedy that you experienced with your earthquake in Nepal in 2015. The schools here are only going back because of the COVID crisis. The schools here in the UK reopen on Monday, this coming Monday, but they have been doing online classes over the last few months, and it's been, as I'm sure it's happened to you, very disruptive to the children's education. And I know it's probably little consolation to you because your hardships are very much greater than those we've experienced here in the UK. But even here in the UK, there's been a tremendous appeal for the provision of laptops and connections for online teaching, because like you, many students do not have the facilities at home for online learning. And there are many particularly large families who don't have much money, maybe don't even have a laptop or a connection to be able to take part in online learning. What I would like to see as a result of this interview with you, Lachhe, is that it will inspire other schools, other organizations to develop partnerships with you and your school. To help you to provide the kind of facilities that you've just described in your vision. Because I have to say, and my experience in education goes back, well, it goes back a long way, but it's a long time since I've been in school, as you can see from my appearance. But the thing that really caught my attention when I came in 2015 is the wonderful results that you had achieved with your children. They are citizens, they are global citizens of the world, and they are inspired by you to make the world a better place. So as we discovered with the conference that you organized with Professor Rademacher, when he was talking about the impact of latest technologies like artificial intelligence on education and the kind of jobs that will be available, as we go into the future because of computers. You are preparing your students, and you've already been doing this for several years, in the right way to build a better future for themselves and for the world around us. So you'll bring into the world global citizens. So I very much hope that we can work together and develop new partnerships with schools and other organizations in the UK and around the world that can learn from your experience, because you have a lot to teach us. Not only for how you responded to the terrible tragedy of an earthquake, but also to how you're responding to coronavirus. And none of these terrible tragedies have stood in your way. You are still working very hard and still inspiring other people to believe in a better future. And I share your experience. So if you want to put your microphone on again, perhaps you could just just tell us a little bit about the kind of relationships and partnerships you would like to make with other schools and other organizations around the world. For example, as we discussed, my step-granddaughter works at a school in nearby Northampton, and she's a wonderful teacher herself. She is a very inspiring young girl, and she is very much like you. She has a sense of humor, and she is able to communicate with her children. And it would be really nice if we could set up a kind of twin relationship with her school and with other schools around the UK, so that over time we may be able to organize exchange visits. We can organize webinars, yes, so that people can share their experiences of education in the UK and around the world with your students, and you can do the same with them. So what would you say to that?
It would be great help, or it is my interest that exchange our teacher, exchange our students, so that we could able to understand the world, and we could see the education standard and the social status of the different two countries. Or maybe whoever would like to share, exchange develop our sister relationship with this school, and our teacher and student can be exchanged. Our parents can be supported. They can support their kids to go abroad, or they study something, stay some time outside, study half the time outside and half in this school. So it would be better idea to understand the better world and make friendship, and they feel that the international, we are the friendship, we are the great friend throughout the world. Yes. So it helps for the peace and the better friendship. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful, Lachhe, and I would do all within my power to help you to achieve that. Now we have about 10 minutes left of the scheduled webinar, but would it be interesting to your students for me to show them a few things of the kind of work that I'm involved in and the places that I've visited around the world, and some of the uses of technology that might be of interest to them? Would that be interesting?
Yeah, okay. So our student will, those who are interested to talk in front of you, may I invite them, or?
Oh, please, yes, please, yeah, please. If you want to bring them now, I will be very happy to talk to them, and they can tell their story. Okay, so Lachhe is just organizing his students. He's muted his microphone. So We should hopefully be able to speak to his students in a minute or two, whilst he's enjoying a cup of tea. Yes, yes, Lachhe.
One of my students would like to share his views.
Okay,
his name
please.
is Api. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Can you come into the screen so that we can see you? Oh,
Yes.
hello.
Am
hello.
I clear audio video?
Yes, very pleased to meet you. So, how are you enjoying your school?
It's a really good school. There are some mistakes, but everything cannot be perfect. The mistakes are also reducing day by day.
And what is your ambition in life?
I would like to be a politician.
You would like to be a politician? Okay. Do you
Might be
have
one day Prime Minister of Nepal?
you one day Prime Minister of Nepal? Well, I very much hope you achieve your ambition. So, why do you want to be a politician?
Why?
Because that gives me a lot of opportunities to do the things which I want, and the main thing is that the things which I can see as a problems can be solved. I think they can be solved with my vision and not from others. But if other people have better vision than mine, they can also go ahead for it.
That is wonderful. Now, of all the politicians in the world, do you have a kind of role model, a politician that you really admire?
Yes.
And which politician is that?
The present Prime Minister of Nepal, KP Sharma Oli.
Okay. So I don't, because we don't have very little news from Nepal. We don't read anything in the newspapers about Nepal. So I do not know this person. I only know the politicians that we see on our television in the UK. So what is it that you admire about your Prime Minister?
Unlike the revolutions which Nepal had in the past, most of them were usually related to violence, but he was able to change almost a whole district without even hurting a person, and he went for peaceful revolutions rather than using guns and weapons. That's the part which I like is best.
That's wonderful. Now, I did say that I enjoyed my trip to Kathmandu. As I said, it is for the English people, Kathmandu is it's very exotic. It's something that it's almost like a fairy tale place in England, because so few people have been to Kathmandu. And of course, when I came, I was lucky enough to go on an aeroplane flight over the Himalayas and see Mount Everest. So it's a very inspiring place that many people in England would love to come to visit. So when you are Prime Minister of Nepal, can I come and visit you?
Anytime.
Okay, that's wonderful. So, where would you like to go in the world? What would your dream destination be if you could travel?
I will definitely come to UK to see the head of Vincent Thapa.
Okay. Well, I have some other pictures and things to show you that might be of interest, and this might be of interest for your school as well, because it is a way of keeping a record of your story and a way of sharing that story with other people. So what I have got, have you heard of Google Earth?
Yes.
Yes. Well, on Google Earth, you can make your own stories. So I have put together a tour of some of the places that I've been to around the world. And do you think, would you be interested in looking at that and seeing some of the things that we do in the UK?
Yes, why not?
Okay. So is there anything else you want to say to me before I show you those pictures? Will you come and visit me when you come to the UK?
Yes.
Well, this is my house. In the background, I'll move out of the way so you can see this is the house is this is where I live. So
We cannot see your video on the share screen.
Okay. Yeah, so I took this picture with my drone. I have a drone that I can take pictures and video with, and so this is a big picture of my house, and I am actually I'm speaking to you from a little room. It's near the top of near the top of the picture in the middle. I am in the this is my office. That's my office right at the very top. Okay. So you're muted now, Lachhe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can I show you just a few things? I mean, we are nearly, if you can spare a few more minutes, I can show you one or two things. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is start by loading up Google Earth, and I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay. So tell me when you can see the Earth.
Yeah, we could able to see the Earth. Google
Yeah,
Earth.
you can see the Earth, and you can see the United Kingdom, can't you? And all of the dots on the screen, as I'm zooming in, all of the dots there represent places where I have some photographs or some video. And down the left-hand side of the screen, I have a list going back quite a few years of some of the conferences that I've been to and taken pictures of. So if I can go down and I can find the conference in Nepal, I'll see if I can find it. Oh, here we are, PABSON, International Conference on Education. So if I click on that, it's going to show me pictures. I don't know whether you can see them on the screen. So there is the picture of your president, Lashay, and myself. So clicking on all of these pictures, or even going round the world, these different places, I will zoom out a little bit. Okay, so as I go, and I suspect that this is where you are, okay, yes, in the world. Okay, so I can go and play the tour. So this should start with the very beginning, and as I click on each place, it will take me to pictures of that place. And this was a conference only 4 years ago. So anyway, I will try and just zoom in a little bit, just to give you an idea of where I am. Okay, so I am living in the country which is in this part of the world, where there is a dot here, where there is a pin here, and the text that you see on there is taken from a book that I've written about the use of technology in society. What I'd like to do is to share something else with you. Just a second, I'll go to a new share. And this is just a little bit about where I come from. So tell me when you see a new picture on the screen. You can see that on the screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see a church and a river. That is my hometown. And this is an interactive tour that I made of my memories of my hometown. This is something you can watch on the internet yourself. So if I click to continue, it zooms in, okay, and this is a close-up picture of my hometown parish church, and I will just go around very slowly. Each of these bits of text will take me to a different part of the town. So this is where I when I grew up as a young boy. This is my hometown, and
Very lovely.
I used to play football on the football ground that you can see there. But what I want to do is to take you to my old school.
Oh.
Okay, so this is where I went to school. It's Boston Grammar School. So I click on that, and this is what my school looks like from the air. Okay, so I can go into the playground. And there is an old school, a friend of mine, who traveled round the world in his vintage car. So I'm going to show you his car. This is his vintage car, 1939 Austin 7. And the man taking the photograph, Peter Sharman, he is a president of our Old Boys Association. And he was at school with me, and we used to play in the same football team. So here he is, inspiring students at his old school, telling them about his story and about his drive to across Siberia to the Rugby World Cup. So
David,
this is
your school is a only boys' school?
No, it was only boys. It was only boys. When I was young, it was boys only, but now it is mixed education.
Co-ed. Now co-ed.
But you can see it is very, very old and traditional. It goes back hundreds of years. So this building is the library, which is about 400 years old, the library. And now it is a library, and it's also the computer lab, like your computer lab. They have computers at the end of the room, but it still has some of the old structure. You can see it has a wooden roof. And so there is a lot of history in here. And this is what where you are in your computer lab, this is what my old school computer lab looks like now. And you can see they've got desktop computers, but at the end of the room, you can go back in time to the museum part, where they have some old records, some very old books, old school pictures, all these kind of things. I'll go back to the playground, and I just want very quickly just to look at go back to the very beginning, because I would like to just show you where I used to live as a young boy. I can. I did not live in the town. I lived in a little village outside called Wibberton. So if I click on this, and this is an aerial picture of where I used to live, and my house, where it says Yarborough Road Memories, my house where I lived was just over the O, just over Memories, just above Memories. And I think I can click on this, and you will, there is a little video here with me standing outside my house, and This is on YouTube, standing outside my house, just talking about what life was like when I was a young boy.
And number 19 is the
Okay, so that is available on the internet. If you want to look at this yourself, you can do that. What I'd just like to show you one other thing, and this is a very old-fashioned school that I made into an interactive tour, and it's like Harry Potter. I tried to make it like Harry Potter. So there's the old classroom, and now
welcome to
sure
Big Words.
How quickly it
Back
shows
to
on
the
your
Future
screen.
School of Digital
But there
Medicine,
I am,
a magical place where medicine of the future is shared in a classroom of the past. Take time to look around the walls and hear the expert
virtual classroom, and around the walls you'll see pictures of some of the people that I know, and they are actually, if I zoom in, and maybe I can zoom in, like Harry Potter, they are videos. The picture is talking. And if I click on this person, he's a friend of mine,
my background is
with a talking picture of that person. So I tried to make it a little bit like a Harry Potter film, with some little bits of magic, including an invisible honours board. So you can't see anything on the wall opposite next to the blackboard, but if I move my mouse down, you can see a Medihash class of 2020 appears, and as I go down that, names of people appear, and these are people who've done presentations for me. So these are all talking about presentations to do with the use of technology in medicine, and this is one example of a surgeon who is based in London. He's at the King's College Hospital in London, and if I click on this, he will
thanks very much for
talk
inviting
through
me
his
to this forum.
presentation.
I've really enjoyed
and
and
he's going to
learned
be
so much
about
actually
the
over
use
the
of
last
what's
hour with all
called
the
laparoscopic
presentations.
surgery. So it is
really wanted
kind
to
of surgery where
share
you
our
only
experience.
need
I'm
a
a
very
colorectal
small
surgeon and an
cut
interventional
in the human
endoscopist
body
at
to
King's
be
College
able
Hospital in London.
deliver that.
And during the lockdown.
So those are just a couple of examples of how I use technology within my work. And I would love one day to come back to Kathmandu to see you all again. And I would like to make a 360-degree video of your school so that I can share that with the rest of the world. And if I'm allowed to in Nepal, to take some drone pictures and video of your wonderful city and your wonderful school, and be able to share those with the rest of the world. So, Lachhe, I just want to thank you again for joining me this afternoon. And if you want to put your microphone back in again, back on again, I'm going to make you...
Great program that we did today. And it is a kind of sharing throughout the world. Our kids, our students, Mr. Adhikari, could be able to share his idea. He wants to be a future Prime Minister of this nation. And we really congratulate him in advance. And he's really studying well also, one of the good students of his school. And he's also very much fond of general knowledge. Just a few minutes ago, he was participating house-wise general knowledge competition. I think you became first.
Yes, sir.
His house became first, and he is very much enthusiastic, learning a different part of the world, and he would like to visit in future. If there is any opportunity, our student would like to visit UK, and even online kind of webinar, we can organize a webinar with among the young people young kids, our young students, grade 6 to 10, they could able to experiences, they share the experiences and all ideas. They could able to speak very well in English. So they can easily share their ideas and their feelings. So it would be great idea to develop the sister relationship and exchanging of teacher also, and also students and parents, as well as our school management committee can meet, and your country or any sister schools, teachers, students could be able to stay here with us, and we can manage the homestay or we have a hostel. They can stay with us and they can be volunteer in our school. Even ex-teacher would like to be a teacher here or would like to work as an admin team. We welcome them in our school. Please, let's explore the establishing the sister relationship. One of the school in Australia, South Australia, they said before COVID-19, they were able to exchange the 20 students from South Australia to Nepal. They stay 1 month and visiting different places. They also go back with the learning Nepalese culture, and they also establish. We also planning to send in future our students. So let's establish something better or something good for future.
Yeah. Well, that will be wonderful, Lachhe, and I will approach the contacts that I know. I've already been in discussion with a couple of schools in the UK, but there is an organisation in the UK called Founders for Schools, who are dedicated to helping children to develop their careers by introducing them to people in business like myself. And it would be nice to be able to share this video with them and set something in motion so that we can identify partnerships for you where you can do this kind of exchange both of staff and of students, because I know from my experience of your school that we have a lot to learn from you, as much as you can learn from schools in our country.
Yeah.
Good. So, Lachhe, thank you once again. I've really enjoyed talking to you today, and very nice to meet you, young man. I hope you succeed in your I hope you succeed in your vision and you fulfill your dreams. And I do hope to see you in the UK, and you'll be welcome to be my guest if you ever come over here.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm now going to close the webinar down today, and I will be in touch again with you, Lachhe, and with your school, and we'll continue to explore the possibilities for working together and creating a new kind of relationship.